Okay, fair enough. All right, there's a lot to talk about this week. I think I'll just start. So earlier this week, I was scrolling on TikTok and there's this guy. He's a UFC fighter named Dustin Poirier. Poirier. Anyways, so he was he's from America.
Okay.
And so he was in this cinema and it was basically watching a video of that they had made. And so he recently retired and it was a video of his daughter and his wife and his parents, all different members of his family. This guy's in his 30s.
Okay, so he's pretty young.
Yeah, pretty young. Older than us, but not super old.
Yeah.
And basically just saying to him how proud they are of him. And his daughter's oh, Dad, I love you so much. Just so proud of you, all this stuff. Because he recently retired.
Yeah.
Anyways, this guy's one of my favorite fighters. And he never was the full undisputed champion in lightweight. But he was the interim champion. So it's not the full thing, but it's a lot of people people just really love this guy because he was almost there, almost became the champ, but just was never quite there, right? And I feel in some ways that's kind of a shadowing of my life in a sense.
Don't say that.
Well, I mean, right now,
okay.
But I guess the point of the story is I don't know, bro, because I was kind of watching that video. And he was honestly holding back tears in that video.
Yeah.
And there's a full TikTok hashtag and it's 100 men versus your parents telling you they're proud of you or something like that. It was some TikTok hashtag.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Wait, so the video was his the people that he loved telling him that they were proud of him?
Exactly.
Oh, I thought it was him. He was thanking the people.
No.
Loved. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that kind of, I know that just hit me at a really deep emotional level.
Yeah.
Because, I feel just in Asian culture, my mom, she said it before. She's told me that she's proud of me, but I feel it's something with my dad. It's he almost never says it.
My mom has never said it.
Okay. Exactly, right?
Period.
Exactly. What about your dad?
I think he said good job, he's never said.
Okay.
I'm proud of you.
All right. Okay. Well, then that's great because we can break this down even more because I feel you're even more on the extreme end. But I don't know whether you crave that love and that validation as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, as I watched that video, I was man, I was just so taken aback. And I was oh my God, I'm just craving my parents just telling me that they're proud of me and they love me and they'll support me through anything. And it's it's something where I feel my love language is very much verbal, words of affirmation.
Is that your first?
I think it's definitely my first. Yeah, for sure. And so yesterday we actually had I went to my Bible studies group last night, which I go to every fortnight. And we had this new, pastor. And so our pastor just changed recently. Before it was this guy named Andy and now we have this guy named Eddie. And so this guy's actually from America as well.
Oh my God. Shout out to Eddie.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie.
Yeah.
So I rocked up and I was I met him and his wife. And then he's I was 3 minutes into the conversation, a bunch of us were just sitting on the couch. And I was wait, are you American? He's yeah, bro. And then I was oh my God, I have a friend named Eddie who's from America as well. Anyways, this guy's from Chicago. And then, so this guy is from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And so he basically just told us, so yesterday's Bible studies was just a social. We didn't really actually study anything, but he just started talking about his testimonial and kind of how he became a Christian, and those kinds of things. And just was talking about his experience of, so he's Korean and his parents immigrated from South Korea to, I assume, or from South Korea to America.
So he's first gen.
He's first gen, yeah. And so his wife is from Korea as well. And she moved to Sydney when she was 15. And we just were having a conversation. I was talking about my podcast and kind of what we discuss on here. And I just feel so basically he was talking about how he didn't have a good relationship with with his dad specifically growing up. And I don't know what he fully meant by this, but he literally said I didn't talk to my dad for the first 22 years of my life. So I was okay. Anyways, and he was telling the story of how he found God and reconciled with his dad and now they have a great relationship. And so that kind of just
ignited something in you.
Yeah, just like ignited something in me. And I was like, man, like, obviously me and my dad are on a break right now. And
we're on a break.
We are on a break. We're literally on a break. And I'm trying to do my best to heal. But it's something where I think it's actually necessary for us to have that break in order so that we can both have space and I can continue to work on the podcast, talk about all the things that I need to talk about, and then he can go and listen. And then in the future, we can try and kind of reconvene. But it's one of those things where, so I just finished reading this book called The Third Door by Alex Banayan, this American guy. No, it's like a self-help business book.
Okay.
And so at the end of the book, he has like dedicated to my dad, and it was like 1957 to like 2017 or whatever. And I was like, shit, like my dad's born in 1957 as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of just hit me, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know how I feel about the situation, because obviously I think it is in the best interest for each of us to just have a break and like not see each other. And I actually think it's going to do a lot. Like I'm already feeling a lot better. And like, I don't know if you remember, but like obviously I was having like some mental health hurdles earlier this year. And I was actually having some memory problems as well. And I felt like everything was kind of just like a blur. And I feel like that was because I was getting into fights with my dad like 2 to 3 times a week. And then it was just causing issues because I was just getting so angry and like losing it. And so there was just some kind of cognitive, like some issues in terms of my cognition there. But since kind of taking a break and not seeing him for a period of time, I feel like I'm actually getting my cognition back. And I can actually like remember what I did each day. I can recall what I did each day of last week. Whereas everything in the past, for quite a period of time, it was all just like the same. I didn't know. Everything was the same. So I don't know. I just feel like it's something where it's just so difficult. And I don't know how other ABCs, Australian-born Chinese or American-born Chinese, or like anyone in the Chinese diaspora feels about it. But I know, at least for me, I think because coming from like a single parent household, my parents divorcing when I was 11, I just always craved that love and craved that validation even more. And because I was so young, and like those was, I wasn't even a teenager at the time. It was like, those were very formative years for me. My brain was still very malleable. And so, I don't know, I was just like doing some reflection. I was like, damn, like maybe that's why I've always just kind of sought attention. And like, I was like, I had to be that party photographer guy. And, just try to get as much clout as possible through my party photography business. And then, that's why I needed to prove myself and become VSA president and get the top position, because I was like, I just wanted that sense of recognition, that sense of validation from people, right? And I think that just really stems from, my dad specifically, never really telling me that he's proud of me. And it's something that's, just always been tough. And even when I started learning Mandarin 2 years ago through Mandarin Blueprint, it's like, I studied 8 hours a day, other than the days that I was working half-day shifts. So I'd work from like 8:45 to 1 p.m., 3 days a week before I'd resign from my job. But I would still study after I got home from like 2 to 6, and then I would also watch some like Chinese dramas or something at night. And so I'd still get in about 5 to 6 hours a day, even though I worked in the morning. And so even after I'd spent like literally 13 months of my life, almost 8 hours a day to study Mandarin, and I'd got my Mandarin to such a high level that I was really satisfied with it. And I was, I got around China with pretty much no issues. I feel like my dad still, and it's like, my parents put me in Mandarin school, put me in Chinese school when I was a kid from 7 to 9. And like, I don't know whether they really had like a solid philosophy behind it. I think like, obviously they wanted me to be able to speak another language and hopefully have it.
It's to like maintain your culture.
Maintain culture, yeah. But I think also to have some kind of utility in the job market, right?
I don't think that was.
You don't reckon?
I don't think so. Not in Australia.
Maybe not. I haven't really asked them about it. But basically, I don't know. I just was kind of like angry and like just upset because, I spent all this time to reconnect with my culture, learn the mother tongue of my ancestors again. And it's like, he still was not like, and it's like when we go to Chinese restaurants in Carlingford or like different areas of Sydney, like I do the ordering in Mandarin, and it's like my dad doesn't really like, he can speak Mandarin and he learnt it in primary school, but he doesn't really like it's not as fluent as mine. And so like even though I'm able to do that, all of that, it's like he's still never been like, I'm proud of you for like learning Mandarin to.
But why do you feel like you need to hear him say it for you? Like, do you get angry if he doesn't say it?
Well, I'm just upset because like,
But did you study Mandarin to make him like to hear him say that?
No, but it's like, I think because of my personality and the way that I am, I've never really walked the path that my parents have wanted for me. And so like, even with that being said, it's like I'm still craving that acceptance and craving that validation from my parents. It's like I can pretend like I don't give a fuck what they think. I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to forge my own path and, you know, have this level of like delusional self-confidence, which I project and I try to take that into everything that I do. But it's like deep down at the end of the day, I still care what my parents think and I want them to love me. I want them to validate me. I want them to support me. You know, I want them to tell me that they love me. Tell me that
your mom,
you know,
does that.
and she does,
Your
of
mom
course,
does all of that.
Of course. But it's like with my dad, it's like I don't hear it from him, and it's like it just really hurts. And it's something where, you know, he's kind of opened up about this a little bit to me, and was like, you know, Jeremy, like I did Mandarin all through primary school, but like I hated it. And like I failed all my tests and stuff.
Oh god.
Yeah, and so he doesn't really speak Mandarin. Like he can speak a little bit, but it's not amazing.
He speaks Hokkien though, right?
Yeah, he speaks Hokkien. Yeah. And like maybe that's kind of part of the reason he's never been like, you know, Jeremy, I'm really proud of like the level of Mandarin that you've I guess the level that you've got your Mandarin to. Yeah. But like maybe because he's like his Mandarin isn't as fluent, and then he's kind of like reluctant to like tell me and kind of give me approval and encourage me. But it's something where I'm just like, man, I feel like, yeah, just upon reflection of like watching that TikTok video and then listening to Pastor Eddie yesterday, I was like, man, like I think I'm just like, that's why I've craved like attention and craved like, you know, external validation my whole life. And even through this podcast as well, it's like, you know, we're not doing it for the views or for the likes, but it's like, it's something where I think I've always had an affinity towards social media because it does give you that instant gratification through, you know, likes, views, engagement. And yeah, it just all comes from that. And I'm just like, man, like I don't really know how to like get over this. And like, I don't know whether it's something Pastor Eddie was talking about. You know, he read the book, The 5 Love Languages, right? And I've read that book as well. And he was like, oh, I don't even know like that. I was like, all these love languages, they're not relevant to my parents, right? My parents' love languages are money and obedience.
And food?
No, he just said money and obedience. But basically, he was like, yeah. So like, there was a period of time where he was like earning his wages, and then he would just like give his paycheck to his dad. And so I don't know. I'm just like not sure what to do because honestly, I feel a lot of peace that I'm not seeing my dad for a period of time and I'm getting my cognition back. And I feel like, you know, I actually am healing. And I think at the end of the day, I do want to go back to him, have a relationship with him, and be close with him. But it's something where I just felt conflicted because of watching that video, then hearing Pastor Eddie, and then also like...
Wait, are we talking about the Eddie, your friend, or Eddie, your pastor?
The pastor.
Okay, because I thought I was picturing Eddie, our friend. I was like, oh,
no,
wow.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you think?
I had a couple questions.
Okay,
because that was a bit of a long spiel. Let me
yeah,
see if
sorry,
I just
spat it all out. Yeah.
I had a question. It's like, do you think you don't remember things from the past because of fights with your dad? Do you think that's like, why do you think like that's the main reason?
I think it's just like, because I've just been getting so angry.
Why do you think you get so angry?
Uncontrollably angry.
Like, I'm asking because I feel like I can't really. Someone asked me this week. I can't remember who.
Yeah.
But then they were like, oh, like, I was trying to recall like the last time I get angry, and like
Yeah.
I was kind of struggling because I realized I don't really get angry at things too much.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if that's like some underlying people pleasing thing, but I just
Yeah.
genuinely like it'll take a lot for me to get mad. Like
Yeah.
you really have to like really fucked up
Yeah.
for me to like
Yeah.
get mad at you. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's all just trauma, bro. You know,
fair,
Like,
fair.
everything just comes back to trauma and like comes back to my parents' divorce and, you know, him not being there when I was getting bullied in high school and, you know, there was all these things that were popping off. And so I think because the traumas are just so deeply ingrained in my psyche, it's just, I get triggered so easily. And it's like the fire, like, you know, my previous psychologist explained it like, it's like, you know, you had all these fires that went off when you were a kid, when you were growing up, when you were in your formative years. And it's like, now, anytime you have any kind of, your dad says something wrong or, you know, slightly pisses you off, it's like your reaction is like, there's a huge fire because your fire alarms are just so sensitive to everything that happens, right? And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where I think we just both need space.
Yeah.
Because it's just not really doing anything for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still crave that like that validation. I just want him to tell me that he's proud of me. But I feel like it's something where one, he doesn't say, like just verbally, he doesn't really communicate.
Yeah.
And two, maybe it's one of those things he's also just like, he's just not yet.
No,
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know, but do you feel like you based like you would do things differently? Like for example, if like your dad never like, it's a bit of a morbid hypothetical situation, but like, what if like your parents both included like we just never like they would just never say I'm proud of you? Would you do things differently? Like, do you do things because of them, or do you do things for yourself?
No, I do things for myself, but like at the end of the day, I think every kid innately has a desire for love, for affection, for validation from their parents. We're biologically wired to our parents, right?
Yeah.
And so it's something where, you know, you can try to deny it as much as you want, or, you know, try to go out there and gain as much worldly success as you can. But it's like at the end of the day, everyone knows that they're biologically wired to their parents. They want their parents to love them. They want approval from their parents.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I'm not in denial of my feelings.
Yeah.
You know, it's something where, so there's this guy named Jamie Zhu. He's a Australian guy, and this guy's like a content creator. And so this guy's half Chinese, half Hungarian, and his dad's from China. And his parents divorced when he was like 4. And so I follow this guy on social media because he used to make like big like prank videos. He's got a pretty big following. And he's now like become a Christian, and he like his life changed completely. And he posts a lot of stuff about his parents and how, you know, he felt like this kind of hole inside of him, like this emptiness because his parents divorcing, and his dad went back to China to do acting when he was like 4.
Oh,
and,
damn. Yeah.
And so he like didn't see his dad for ages. And then, I don't know, it's like he talked about how he like went and tried to get as much fame as he could, acquire as much fame as he could, and, you know, get that validation from the world. But it's like at the end of the day, he still had that emptiness inside of him, craving that love and that affection and that validation from his dad.
Right.
Because his dad wasn't there, because his dad was in China, right?
Right.
And so it's something where, like, I have the same thing. It's like, I want to take this podcast really far.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, like, no matter how successful this podcast is, even if I can get it to be the biggest Asian podcast on the planet, it's like, I still want that validation from him, you know? And it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get it, because I think like and it's something that's a tough pill for me to swallow, because I think his interpretation of success is like a management consultant at KPMG. You know what I mean? It's that, or a lawyer at some law firm, or a doctor. And it's like, I was never going to be that.
Yeah.
You know, I never fitted the mold.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to fit the mold.
Yeah.
I you know, I think like my parents have always tried to like box me up, and like, you know, it's not their fault. You know, they were just doing their best as immigrants, trying to provide the best life for me and my sister, and like just wanting us to take the safest route, right? You know, the path of stability, you know, finding a good job that provides good income so that you can buy a house and settle down and all these things, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, I just know that I have this innate kind of entrepreneurship qualities within me, and it's something that I'm just born with. You know, it's something that I've been gifted with, and I feel like they just don't really understand that, and so it's something that's difficult because, you know, it's like I want to walk my own path. I want to forge my own path and prove to them that, you know, I can be successful on my own terms. But it's like at the end of the day, my goal is still validation, love. But it's like, yeah.
Do you feel like it has to be conformed to like what you pursue in your career though? Can't like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe give your parents a little bit more credit. I feel like they do love you, and they do, how do I phrase it? They do, I'm sure like they're like proud of like how far you've come in terms of like learning your Mandarin and everything. It's just, they don't say it, but I guess your love language is words of affirmation. So I guess that's, but I think it's one of those things where it's like, love languages have two parts of it, right? There's the one that you like to give, and there's the one you like to receive. And like, I guess the one that you like to receive for yourself is words of affirmation, as you've confirmed.
Yeah.
But maybe like what they like to give is just different. I find that, at least in my household, it's like we're very like acts of service driven.
Okay.
And it's like, and also maybe because words of affirmation is not very high on like my list. I'm very much like acts of service is my first one. Yeah. Actually, no, quality time is my first one.
Okay.
Then it's like acts of service and like.
Yeah.
Well, this was with parents. It's different with like friends and like partners and everything. But so like, I actually don't have quite as strong of a craving for them to say, "I'm proud of you." I feel like because I can feel it, I'm like, I don't need you to say it.
Right.
Because for me, it's like I can tell that they love me and everything through everything that they do and decisions they make, and how much they pester me that I don't call them enough, kind of thing. Right. And I feel like I don't know. Maybe start noticing the ways that they choose to express love, and then maybe you can start feeling it a bit more. And like, it's hard with family because you can't. For example, if it's like a friend that doesn't show affection or doesn't love you the same way that you want to love them in a platonic way. For example, it's a friend. Like, you can just be like, we just have different values. You can just go find a new friend. But you can't really go find new parents. Right. You're kind of like stuck with the ones that you're given. Yeah. So maybe just see how they express love and just like maybe be more tuned with that. And then maybe you can just, I know you've tried, but just like telling your dad like how much it means to you to have these words of affirmation. That's how you feel loved kind of thing.
I mean, that is true, but it's like, it's so hard because I'm such a verbal person. Yeah. I'm such an expressive person. Yeah. And it's like, we're on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. Right? And it's like someone who is so action oriented. Yeah. And someone who's so verbally oriented. Yeah. And we're both trying to love each other. Yeah. And it's like, it's not computing, right? We have different code for the computer.
But you got to compromise, right? No one's like exactly the same as you are. Right. I feel like you need to be malleable in that way because everyone's like different. Then like not everyone can or is capable of loving you the exact way that you want. Right. So are you just gonna continue being unhappy for the rest of your life? Because that's only gonna suck for you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. It's hard. It's tough. It's a tough word out here.
It's not like they don't love you, but they literally just don't. That's just not their natural gravitation. It's kind of like, I like chocolate, they like strawberry, but you're just like forcing like they're forcing you're forcing them to give you chocolate, but they just make really good strawberry ice cream and they're trying to give you that. It's the best strawberry ice cream in the world. Yeah. But you just really like
just want chocolate, bro. I crave chocolate so badly. I know,
but like why? But then like not. Sorry, for reality check, but the whole world.
Just make sure you don't turn it off.
Yeah, the whole world sadly does not revolve around you.
Okay, well obviously that's true, but it's like, you know, I'm the one who's the center of my life, and it's like, I just want it so badly, and it's like,
like life is unfair that way. You don't always get what you want.
Okay, I mean, that is true, but I don't know, bro. It's just, I don't know what to do with that then.
I feel like the only like the goal is peace, like because I feel like this has caused you some unrest, like some fights and everything. And it's like, like it depends what your goal is, right? If your goal is to get this, like what if you just never get it at all? Yeah. I think like I raised this like previously before, but it's like,
Yeah.
if you're never gonna get what you're gonna get, you're gonna still be happy. And I think that's kind of like a life lesson kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna still try. You know, it's like I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, this is just the way that I'm wired, and that's the way I want to be loved.
But that's the way they're wired, and that's how they express love.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know.
But like, you like things a certain way, but they do things a certain way.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can have an opinion, but you can't force them to act the way you want them to act because they're their own person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's just, that's why I'm in this dilemma, and this is why I've been in this dilemma my whole life.
I think it's like people are their own people. Like, you have to accept them from the way they are. Like, they don't have any malicious intent. Like, they're not, like, their behavior is not inherently like wrong in terms of like morally or whatever. It's just different. Different and isn't necessarily bad. It's just not the exact way that you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like that's the whole thing. Like, you can't get 100% of it, but maybe you can be happy with like an 80% or like an 85 kind of thing. Because I feel like that will give you way more peace, and you just feel like way less angry about things. But that's my hot take about it. Because it seems like there's a lot of unrest, and there's a lot of things that you want, and things you want in a specific way.
Yeah.
But I think these things are also out of control. Like, what you want is within your control, but how they respond to it is out of your control. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think letting go is, I don't know, it's easier said than done. But I think I personally like try not to dwell on anything that's like not within my control. Like, can express what I want. Right. But if they can't give it to me, then it's like.
But I think you also live, like, you're also not in the same country as your parents. And like, maybe that need is like, you're so busy with your own life. It's like, you don't really crave that need as much because they're just, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. But I also feel like, you know, you also kind of push your emotions away, in like, as in like, you busy yourself so much to the point that you don't like address like those feelings. And I'm not kind of like that. I
guess so, but I don't necessarily like, I do agree to a sense. I'm like less emotional, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, less in touch with my feelings, but I don't know. Like, I think because I know what my parents like kind of are, like, I don't know. Like, I think I've shed that because in school and stuff, like, one thing my parents have never said like I'm proud of, like they're like they were proud of me even like when I did well in school. And I was just like, oh, I think I just got over it. Like, like I just accepted it and I just like moved on because I'm like, oh, it's not like I get validation from, like, I set goals, I achieve them, I'm happy if I achieve them. I don't really like I just let that go basically. Like, I definitely had that. Like, I've had that fight with my mom when I was like in high school where it's like, oh, like when I did really, really well in school and then shit didn't pick up, like, oh, like, why is that not like an A+, but everything else is? Right. And it's like, oh, like, why are you focusing on the negatives? Like, do you not, like, I did so hard for everything else, but I just like stopped after, like, I don't know, I just shed that need after school.
Well, that's the thing, like, you can compartmentalize that and be like, I'm okay with the fact they don't verbally say they're proud of me, right? They love me. Yeah. But I can't. It's like, I crave that so much. And it's like, I'm so emotional because that's just the way that I'm wired. Yeah. And it's like, I'm trying to be like, okay with it. Yeah. But I'm still not. And that's why there's so much turmoil inside of me. And like, I'm trying to reconcile. And it's like, it would be great if I could just be like, I don't care that my parents don't tell me.
Like, I don't care is maybe a too strong a term, but I just make peace. Right. I make peace. Like, I accept things for the way they are. Right. I wish things would have been different, but I solemnly accept them from the way they are. Right. I don't care. It might be a bit harsh to say.
I think it's also circumstance, right? Like, if you were in, I think it's also partly the way that you're wired, but like, I think maybe if you were in Malaysia with them, maybe it would be kind of higher in your mind in terms of priorities.
Not that. I feel like it's like what, now that I'm older, it's like it's not that anymore. It's what they restrict me to do because I feel like I'm an adult and they still like parent me like I'm 16. Yeah. That's what gets on my nerves more these days than like that. Yeah. So I don't know.
I think it's a distance thing, bro.
You reckon? I don't know, but it's like.
But you're also not. I think you're just also like not as emotional as I am.
Maybe it's also like I'm at a place where I'm like, I can speak that I'm like happy and I'm like proud of myself and I'm satisfied with what I've achieved so far.
Right.
So it's like because of that, like I don't really care what other people think.
Yeah, but it's not about caring about like other people that you don't know is different to your parents that you're biologically wired to want their validation and their love.
I guess
those are
so.
those are not the same thing in my opinion.
I don't know, but it's like oh, if I get promoted and they say, oh, congratulations, like that's enough for me. Like I'm like happy with that. Right. And they just never say it ever again.
Okay.
I don't know, but
okay.
Yeah,
well,
I get different circumstance.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would, even if it was just like a like that's great, but it's like, I think because, I come from a single, it's like, it's different when like, you obviously don't have divorced parents. And I feel like kids that don't have divorced parents, like they generally are more secure in their attachment style, secure in who they are as a person, right? People that have divorced parents, especially, and also went through a lot of trauma the way that I've been through. Right. It's like, I'm extremely insecure and it's like, I don't feel loved and I haven't felt loved. And that's kind of why I'm like moving towards Christianity, moving towards faith, like feeling like, it's like God still loves me through all of this. Yeah. And it's like, I've just have such insecurity because it was like, my parents divorced when I was 11 and then my dad left and it's like, I felt like he abandoned me. Yeah. And it's like, I went through all this stuff in high school. Yeah. And he wasn't there for when they were bullying me and I was experiencing racism and they were threatening to bash me and all these things, right? Yeah. And it's like, that's why that wound is so deep. Fair. And that love is required so much more. And it's why it needs to be felt. Right. It needs to be said. And it's like, if it's not said, then I don't feel it. And I can't just accept the bare minimum of being like, I just look in their eyes and I just analyze their actions and I'm okay with that. It's like, I'm not secure in who I am as a person because all these things have happened. But
I feel like healing comes from like, it's obviously easier said than done, but I think healing comes from yourself, not from like how other people react to your circumstance. Yes and no. Like, it's kind of like, I'll take this in like a relationship context, right? Say someone like a boy and a girl, either one of them cheats and then one of them obviously has that wound of like not trusting people. It's like, when they enter a new relationship, like the person who got cheated on, it's like, they can't really, okay, it is a different circumstance, like this is a romantic sense, but they can't bring their baggage of their old relationship, putting on the new person. They can explain to the new person and like let them understand, but it's like on them as, like it's their responsibility to work through as well. But now I feel like it's not a fair comparison because it's quite different given like a family context and a relationship context, but I don't know. I also think you feel things more strongly as well than I do for sure. Yeah. So it's like, maybe it's like my solution does not apply to you. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That could be it. Yeah. That might be it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. I think like, obviously it's something where I still need to work through all my baggage and, being at peace with my parents' divorce and all the things that have happened to me from the age of 11. But it's like, I don't know. That's just that's why I am the way that I am. And, it's like, it's easy to be like, you just need to make peace with it. But it's like, it's also not that simple when, you just crave that love so much. And it's like, I just feel, and it's like, there's been times in my life where I've just been like, man, like my parents just don't get it. And it's like, especially when you're the one person who wants to go against the grain.
I think that's also it.
Yeah. Like you want to go against the grain. I do not want to be a 9-to-5 worker. I do not want to rot in a fucking cubicle for the next 40 years. I want to forge my own path. It's like, especially when you are not the same as everyone else in the family. You're trying to forge your own path on top of the fact that, your parents were divorced and, you went through all these experiences in high school. It's like all that compiles, right? Everything adds up and it's like, man, like where do I fit in? I don't fit into the system of society. Yeah. I also don't fit into this, I have a place in terms of the family of like, me being, I've spoken about this already on the podcast. It's like, I'm the only one who didn't go to selective school. I'm the only one who didn't graduate university. I'm the only one who still lives at home. I'm the only one who doesn't have a full-time job. All these things compile, right?
Yeah.
And it's like your sense of worth feels diminished. Your sense of worth is like, what am I? You know? And so it's like, I have to continually fight back and tell myself, you know, and have these dialogues in my head of like, you know, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the best damn entrepreneur that I can be. And I'm going to fucking prove to you my worth and how successful I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you how successful I'm going to be.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're fighting with that, and then you're also dealing with the trauma of like feeling like you got abandoned by your dad when you're 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there for you in your hardest times when, you know, your best friends, you know, backstabbed you and excluded you from a party photography company. Then you had to move high schools because of these rumors and all these things that happened. It's like you just crave, you have no sense of security, right? You just feel so insecure about who you are as a person, and you crave that from them. But it's like the same people that hurt you, you're trying to get that love from as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
Kind of. It's very circumstantial. I definitely did not experience like similar things in school, so I guess it's like I'm speaking from my experience and everything.
Yeah.
But I do think the things that I want to do like naturally align with what my parents wanted of me.
Yeah.
And I think that also is a big proponent because my eldest sister also kind of like experiences similar things because she did her whole accounting and finance stuff and then she was like, oh, I want to do something else, and my parents also very much like, what are you doing, blah blah blah. So she has expressed similar feelings. So.
And I've had that my whole life of like, what are you doing with your life? Or not just my parents, all my aunties, all my uncles.
Even on your mom's side?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? And it's like, this is why I hate going to fucking Christmas every year. It's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, they're trying to ask me like, have you figured it out yet? And it's like, bro, like, it's all well and great that you guys want to fucking, it's like, this is my belief. Tell me if you believe otherwise. It's like, I believe that there are conformers and there are disruptors. Okay. The large majority of people in society are conformers. You know, I am a disruptor. There's a small percentage of people are disruptors. They want to go against the grain. They want to break the status quo. I've never, ever in my entire life wanted to just conform and be like, oh, I'm going to go to university, get a Bachelor of Commerce from UNSW, go work at Macquarie Bank. You know, like never once has that entered my mind. Tell me one kid who's 7 years old and says, I want to fucking grow up and work my ass in some fucking bank for the next 40 years of my life. It's like, that's not true, bro. They conform to what society tells them is successful, and then they go and do it. And it's
I think some people do eventually like it though. Like, I actually quite enjoy my 9 to 5.
That's fine. And you're in one of those rare situations where you actually enjoy what you do. Yeah. Right. But it's like, you know, when you grow up feeling like there is no other pathway other than go and get a fucking commerce degree, go and get a job in some bank or some big four. It's like, why would I want to want to take that path? It's like, I know in my mind that I'm not going to be fulfilled. I'm going to be extremely unhappy. I'm living on someone else's expectations, living on what they believe is success in their eyes. That's not what success is in my eyes. And living, it's like life is too damn short for me to live by their rules. You know,
who is they in this
society? My parents, my aunties, my uncles. Right. You know, it's like they would love for me to go and just went back and finish my university degree and go and get some job at fucking PwC or something. Right. But like, that's not what I want.
What is it that you want?
I want to keep working on the podcast. I want to keep talking about all these issues that I have. And I feel like, you know, there are definitely other ABC kids that have similar thoughts. Yeah. And it's like, they don't fit the mold. I want to talk about the people that don't fit the mold, because all those people that don't fit the mold, that don't get into selective schools and don't, you know, study and get good grades and go straight into some law firm or straight into some consulting firm. It's like they struggle so badly because it's like they don't know what they're doing and they feel unworthy. They don't feel as, you know, they know that they're not as intelligent as these other kids, but it's like they still have gifts and they still have ways that they can contribute to society, and they still have value as well. And I believe I do have value, and I believe that I'm intelligent in other ways that, you know, some of the other cousins are not. But it's like, you know, when you don't fit the mold and you don't fit the system, then it's like you're a loser. Like, and it's like, what are you doing with your life? And it's so hard to forge that pathway for yourself, you know? And that's why it's been a struggle for so long. And that also contributes to the feelings of like unworthiness and like, you know, him not telling me he's proud of me and that he loves me and all these things, and they all compile and they all add up. Yeah.
Fair. I don't really have much to say to that.
Thoughts?
I'm just like, can I play realist though as like I'm not very risk adverse. Like I do not have a high risk tolerance. I value stability. So I think that's why 9 to 5 works for me.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like structure, and like I like learning from like I find great value. Maybe it's because I have a good team and I find great value learning from like people who have done my career pathway.
Right.
And like really smart people who built really cool things in the tech space.
Right.
So I find a lot of value in that. I guess just like advocating for the people who do like the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But I can understand there's also a side of people who like don't like what they do. But I guess like playing realist here. So like how, given like I think these are your aspirational passions, but like like if you do eventually want to move out, if you want to build a family, like how are you gonna realistically generate income and live by like independently, essentially?
Yeah. I mean, obviously I don't have everything figured out yet, right? And it's like, this is just a passion project, same as my cycling club as well. And it's something where, you know, there may come a day where I'm going to need to go and get another job and possibly work a 9 to 5 part-time while I'm working on the podcast, in order to, you know, have income so that I can do all these things. But it's also like, I feel that that's another thing that ticks me off as well. It's like the way that my dad and the rest of our family on our dad's side looks at life is like, it's just a bunch of fucking check boxes that you need to go, like you need to go and get a degree, go and get a job, go get income so you can get married and you can have children, pop them out by 30 or whatever. It's like, bro, like I'm still figuring out how I'm going to make that money and finding a way. What is more important to me is how I make my money rather than how much money I make. It's like, you know, I want to earn my own dollars and I don't want to just submit myself. It's like, you either build your own dreams or someone else is going to hire you to go build theirs. And it's like, I don't want to, you know, sometimes there is a little bit of like unrealisticness because it's like, I haven't thought about all these things, but it's like, you know, am I meant to know everything for the rest of, like, it's like, am I meant to have everything figured out? It's like, life is,
you're not meant to have everything. Sorry to interrupt, but like, you're not meant to have everything figured out. But I feel like, I don't know, like realistic. I don't know. I feel like since graduating uni and being like working does teach you a lot of like, I don't know. It brings you a little bit more pessimism in life. I feel because you're like, okay, you don't need to do all these things, but I do think you need to be realistic. It's like, eventually, like, I don't know, like timelines, for example, time boxing, like how many years are you gonna spend in something for like you pivot and change? Like, I think that's like what I think I like if I was doing this, like I want to see, it's like, because I guess realistically, like, what's your runway, like how runway for like how long you can run on your savings before like you need to pivot and before you need to like change your idea, because like I really admire entrepreneurs because like you need a lot of like risk and a lot of like belief and a lot of passion to be able to drive your projects and like do them. But at the end of the day, it's like I think it's because I'm pessimistic, because I've seen a lot of this in like the startup world, like all these really smart people with really smart ideas get backed up, but they burn through their money without a sustainable long-term plan. And they're like, layoffs have been happening consistently for like the last 3 years in tech at least. So it's like job stability and like uncertainty is like a big thing, at least for in my industry. And job like, so I'm just like, I want to play the realistic card. So like how long and like what are like your goals and how you're clear. And I think it's also because like I've seen people who have been in your state for like a full decade, and it's like the needle hasn't moved very much in that full decade, and I don't want you to be in that position, because I want you to be successful. I want you to like build things and actually execute these things. So it's like it's just like I don't want to be like uncle and like everyone else who has like not believe in you. I do believe in you. It's just like I want you to be realistic as well, because passion needs to be accompanied by realistic decisions. Like that's how CEOs like operate as a company. It's like what do I need to make sure this business stays afloat? Like passions, it like starts a spark for a lot of things, but I do think discipline and grit is what keeps it running for like a long term.
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I guess it's one of those things. I'm not fully in touch with the realities of everything because I feel like I do still have my parents' financial backing, financial support. And it's one of those things where definitely if I was in your shoes where I was overseas, my parents were in your home country, I would have to look at everything from a much more objective lens.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate the touch of realism that you're kind of giving me, but it's just one of the things where I think sometimes I just don't like, and maybe that's my downfall as well. It's like, it's like whenever someone like tells me like, when are you going to like get a real job, or like whenever I tell them like, oh, I'm doing this podcasting and they just kind of scoff, I'm just like I get so mad.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have dreams, I have big dreams, and it's like just because society fucking beat you down and told you that you can't pursue your dreams and you need to be realistic and you need to go be a fucking teacher or you need to go be an accountant, doesn't mean you have the right to fucking shit on what I want to do. And the fact that I have dreams and that I have a vision, and it's like, you don't see the vision, you don't see you don't have the work ethic and the vision and the discipline and the grit and the determination and the chip on your fucking shoulder to prove the world what the fuck I'm capable of that I do. And it's like, you think you can fucking tell me like what are you doing with your life? It's like, bro, like society beat you down, and it's like you're trying to fucking you're trying to project that onto me, and it's like I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
I think it depends who's like, also like it depends who like you tell. I do think who you tell your goals and your dreams to shouldn't be everyone. It's like a very selective circle.
Yeah.
Who you know will give you like, who want the best for you.
Yeah.
Like you don't personally, like I don't tell those kind of things to everybody, because there are people who just like don't like, they're not that close to you, so they probably don't know you super well.
Yeah.
So and they'll just like, they won't get it as well. But people who generally are like a true friend or like a family member who actually cares, like they will. Yeah. I feel like they will try. They won't try to beat you down like that. They'll just try to support you, but also like entrepreneurship is a real job, but the realities of entrepreneurship always like, it's not very glamorous. It's like, I do want to give you that reality check. Of course. Like working entrepreneurship is way harder than working 9 to 5 in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I'm aware of that. And it's like, they don't understand that I work like a fucking dog, right? When I am obsessed, when I am passionate about something, I become fucking obsessed with it. It's like when I was studying Mandarin, I was studying 8 hours a fucking day. I would get up, have breakfast, study from 9 to 1, eat lunch between 1 and 2, still have comprehensible input, study from 2 to 6, have dinner, then I would watch like 2 hours of Chinese dramas at night, then I would call a language exchange partner before I go to bed. It's like, they don't understand the level of fucking obsession that I have. You know, I studied 400 days in a row with Mandarin Blueprint. I studied on my birthday, I studied on Christmas, I studied on the day of my grandpa's funeral, bro. And it's like, they don't understand the fucking grit that I have. And it's like, who are you to project the fact that you're a school teacher or you're an accountant onto me and tell me that I don't have the fucking grit and the hard work and the determination and what the fuck it takes to become a successful entrepreneur? It's like, it's not even your goddamn business what I'm doing in my life. You know what I'm saying? I
guess it depends. Like so it's like, protect your thing, right? So if you have these dreams, I don't think it's like you just go off telling everybody, because everyone will obviously try to insert their opinion when you do
but
it.
It's like, everyone's like, what are you doing with your life? And I have to answer and be like, oh, I'm working on this podcasting, I'm working on this cycling thing. That's what I'm doing right now. But it's like, this was just from an auntie on my mum's side, and it's like, I know you don't get it.
Like aunties, I take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. I just like don't.
I know, but it's like they're still my immediate family, and I still have to, like, someone's asked me what I'm doing in my life, I have to tell them what I'm doing. But it's like, you know, they're already going to be skeptical and be like, you know, oh, like, you know, like when he, like even my sister, I was annoyed at my sister. Like, she was like, oh, like are you gonna get a proper job? And I'm like, bro, you don't get it, bro.
No, but like, I think what they're saying is like, are you gonna, like, they want you to be able to be they want you to be able to financially take care of yourself. Yeah. Because otherwise, like, you might, like, you are currently dependent on your family. And I think it's like, I can understand like your sister's concern, because it's like like that's a realistic part, right? It's like you can run on these, like, but you will eventually run out of these fumes. And it's like, personally, I like stability, so that will usually light a fire under my ass and be like, okay, I need to, they're not saying that you don't have grit, but they're like, the realistic part, like, how are you making money? Yeah. They're not saying you're not disciplined. I know,
I'm not making money right now, but it's like, they don't see the vision. They don't know. And it's like, I also don't have all the pieces yet. Right. It's something that is a process of discovery. And it's like, I feel like especially people on our dad's side, it's like they just look at everything like it's a fucking bunch of check boxes that you need to get through. It's like, for me, it's a process of discovery and getting all those pieces so I can put it into the jigsaw puzzle and, work towards whatever that goal is. Right now, I'm just looking at it. I don't look 10 kilometers ahead. I'm looking 1 kilometer ahead. And it's just putting out podcast episodes, continue to get better. And it's like, I don't have all the pieces of how I'm going to become successful and how I'm going to, create a certain amount of wealth right now. But it's like those pieces are going to come with time. And it's a process of discovery, not just like I know what I'm doing and I'm locked in for the rest of my life in this career as an accountant or whatever.
That's the thing, though. I feel like that's not mutually exclusive. A lot of people, I think a lot of people also build what they want to build eventually, but they work a 9 to 5 because they have to, because they need to, they don't do it because they love it. They do it because out of necessity. They need to feed themselves. They need to do all these things.
I understand.
So it's like, I get that. It's just, I think I'm trying to like play devil's advocate for like your sister's perspective. It's like she probably wants like to know like the more, because you're talking to people who work 9 to 5s. We have like deadlines. Yeah. We have like if this like we have projects where like it fails, it doesn't make money. Like there's a whole like like it's bad. Like you have postmortems. You have like what went wrong. Yeah. How can we do this to like make sure it doesn't happen again? Because businesses do run on money. Yeah. And if you run on money, your business essentially fails. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I guess that's like, this is where all the fear from the 9 to 5ers get, because like that's how the corporations that we work at operate, right? So if we bank on this idea, like that's why like you have cost benefit. Like, okay, I'm not a finance person, but you just have an analysis on like, okay, how much can we bet on this project? How much can we invest in it? And if this investment fails, what's our backup plan? Right. So like that's how we operate from our 9 to 5 jobs. So like that's what we arguably might be projecting, but it's like, okay, then like how does that fit into what you're trying to pursue? So do you have like a cost benefit analysis? How much of my savings am I going to run on until this doesn't work, and then I'm going to pivot and try something new? Because that's how businesses work, right? Yeah. We bank on this product is going to make us the next big money. We bank this going to go viral on TikTok, and then we can make our money. Yeah. And you got to produce the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Yeah. So it's like, because we have deadlines, and like if like it doesn't work, we have to scrap it, no, like regardless how much we love the idea. And I guess it's just like, how does that look like in terms of like, obviously you don't need your 10-year plan, but maybe like your next 1 year plan kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, honestly, I haven't really thought about like monetization yet in terms of like drawing out an elaborate plan for the next year or so. I don't know. I'm not a very logical person. And it's like, I'm very emotional. And it's like when I'm passionate about something, I just know that I will be the fucking hardest worker in the room without a doubt. And it's like, I know I have that grit. I know I have that determination. I know I have that fucking fire in my belly. But it's something where, obviously I have been afforded the luxury and the privilege of having the financial support of my parents. And so I don't really think about it that much in terms of the realities of like, I mean, this is not a business yet, right? This is just a podcast. We're just talking. Yeah. But it's like, obviously there are ways to monetize podcasts, and it's like something that I've looked into, but it's like, I try to not let that's not even the goal for me. Yeah. Right? It's like, yes, I want to monetize the podcast, but it's like, I don't want to, it's about the message, the essence of the podcast. That's all going to come. Yeah. And it's like, I guess it's hard because I don't really like, I don't really look at like, you broke it down very logically and it makes sense to me. Yeah. But that's just not how my brain operates. It's just like, I know that I am the fucking hardest worker for things that I'm passionate about. And on that alone, I know I can be successful. And it's just, yeah.
No, and I think that's totally fine. Like, I think it's actually a great direction that this, at least your passion projects, like your cycling and your podcast is like passion driven. You want it to be authentic. You don't want to do it for views. Yeah. I think that's great. That is why I think you need something that's an alternative that you do that is the money making part, that is like separate from these two. So you can develop these two organically in the way you want it to develop. Yeah. Because it's kind of like people who I know, like who like open a restaurant and they just love making said dish. Like, but then the rest, like they love making this dish, but
Yeah.
the rest, the place where they open the restaurant,
Right.
nobody likes it.
Right.
So nobody buys it.
Yeah.
They can love it and then they pour their heart and soul to it. They spend their entire life savings on that restaurant.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't make money, they have to shut it
Yeah.
and go find something that does pay their bills.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just like the reality perspective I'm trying to make here. And
Yeah.
you can totally still run your cycling club and your
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
But I do think there needs to be a money making thing. And it doesn't need to be a business. It can just be like, I don't know, like whatever it is that you feel like is aligned with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I do have one thing to say where it's like, I think that's where my perfectionist tendencies like got worn off. So it's kind of related to what we talked about earlier.
Uh-huh.
Hard work doesn't necessarily give you results.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah.
You like, at the start it will get you places, but it might not it's not proportional to the output sometimes. It sometimes is.
Yeah.
Sometimes is.
Yeah.
But it sometimes isn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's finding that balance where it's okay. You could work like really, really, really hard, like harder than anyone that you've ever known.
Yeah.
But you might not be getting like this is a trial and error thing. A lot of businesses are that way. So it's like you could be doing that for like however many months you do it until you find that one thing where it's like, oh, it's so easy. Then the money starts making it like
Right.
just starts making itself.
Right.
But it's just how long is this drought period of like working really hard but seeing no return? Because that is the reality of building businesses. Like startups don't make money for like the first couple years at least. Like that's why we need investors. Yeah. That's why investors' money run out and they have to lay off people. That's just like how it goes.
Yeah.
But so it's like that's why I think it's like smart in terms of like you have to be smart. Like you can't just work hard. You got to work smart. You got to choose things that do lead you down a direction where you don't need to work like a dog forever.
Right.
Working like a dog is necessary
Yeah.
for building any career.
Yeah.
But it's like making the smart decisions that lead you down a way where you don't have to work like that forever.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
It's good. I think we should wrap up because I'm scared the
sorry.
No, it's
okay.
calm, it's calm. No, I don't know how much battery's left,
All
but
right.
it's all good. I think we'll wrap up. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was intense.
I know.
I didn't know it was gonna come out that intensely, but
Neither. But yes.
Appreciate you guys listening. If you are still listening, I'm your host Jeremy from Late Night Hotpot,
And I'm Zoe.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.